Well, hello and welcome to the principal's office. I am Principal Edward Gordon, and I'm so glad you have tuned in this morning for a special broadcast where we'll be focusing on the power of mentorship. In the book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, written by Dr. John C. Maxwell, he talks about the law of modeling. The law of modeling states it's hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. A good mentor is a worthy example, available, has proven experience, possesses wisdom, provides friendship, and provides support and makes a difference in people's lives. We believe there are many outstanding leaders in this world, and today I want to highlight one of my mentors that has provided a model of excellence for me and many others. Help me welcome to the show today, Mrs. Angela Hooper-Menifield. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Edward. It is such an honor and a privilege to be here today and to be in the principal's office for good reasons, right?
Yes, yes. And we are so glad that you have agreed to come on the show this morning. And I'd like to start off with a brief introduction of our guest today. Angela Hooper Manyfield classifies herself as a growth junkie because for as long as she can remember, she has always been fascinated with being a better version of herself and training. As such, she practices what she preaches in the personal growth space, as she is a coach with a coach and tries to learn from those who have gone farther than her while she strives to add value to those blazing the trails behind her. She is proud to be a co founder of the Black Entrepreneurs Institute, where they help minority business owners elevate their mindset and money. As an avid learner, she is excited, as she has already mentioned, about joining us today in the principal's office, and we're excited to have her as a guest today on the show. So let's get started. The author Toni Morrison states, if there's a book you really want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. Ms. Angela, what is your story?
So that's really a great question. So I am, if I take you back to the beginning, I am born and raised in Gary, Indiana. So I am definitely a product of being in what would be considered a more industrial inner city. My father worked at the steel mill for almost 40 years before he retired. I come from two parents, neither of which that went to college. And then neither of my two siblings went to college, and I'm the youngest of three. And so college for me was always an aspiration. It was something that I knew I would do. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to attend Mississippi State University. And not only did I have an academic scholarship, I also had a band scholarship. So band has always been in my life as well. From college, I went on and was hired by the Department of Agriculture on the federal side. And so, what to me in the beginning that I thought was going to be a short journey, as in this was just to get the job to get where I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to live in California. They offered me a job in California. So I actually turned down a higher paying job to get to California. Well, what I thought was going to be a short journey ended up being a 28 and a half year career with the same agency. And one of the things I'm most proud of in that journey is the fact that I am the true example of the person who started in the lowest position they could be hired in for the professional ranks of a federal employee. And I literally worked my way up into the highest position, highest grade, highest step. So I did the full journey. And as a result of that, that just really gave me a passion to figure out how do I help other people transition, not so much focus on where they start, but where do they want to go? Because we all have the potential to do that. And so in the midst of doing that and, getting married, having kids and doing all that, I also went back and got my master's in public administration with the emphasis in human resources, which kind of led me to really want to focus my HR expertise. And then after that swelling in your belly, that thing that says, oh, there is so much more for you to do, just got so loud that I could no longer ignore it. I stepped away from federal service. And many people thought I was crazy. because I was walking away from a, a six-figure position in the federal government with security and benefits and all those things. And I said, yeah, I can do this. I've worked hard for others and grown businesses, and made us a top performer. So why can't I do the same for my business? So now I'm in year 7 of my own business, 5 years full time. And in addition to what I do for myself and my clients, I have, as you mentioned, partnered with some other amazing entrepreneurs. And now we've created this thing that we love and know as the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. And I'm just so excited to be able to up level other entrepreneurs and to add value in some spaces that maybe were missing for me when I started this journey.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so glad to hear your story. And I enjoy doing this broadcast each and every week and bringing on different leaders. And one thing I didn't know based on your background that, yes, I knew that you went to Mississippi State. And also, for me, I'm also a part of the Southeastern Conference in terms of University of South Carolina. But I didn't know that you were a part of the band as well. And I was also in the marching band. So there's some more commonalities, and that's really interesting. Another interesting part of your story is about the fact that you spent many years working in a career, developing your career, and then you have this swelling in the belly. You're giving something. You're giving birth to what has really been prepared for you already in terms of a calling and a next level of your life. And I'm so glad that you have definitely answered that call, started your own business, and also have partnered with others to form the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. Can you just share with the audience what excites you every day? What wakes you up in the morning?
So I am excited about new possibilities. There's a saying, and I've used it my whole life, that says, every day, today is the first day of the rest of our lives, right? And I've said it, but I really feel it. It's like every day I wake up, I'm like, oh my gosh, today is the first day of the rest of my life. And, some of the things that I do, and I know you and I are in some studies and with some growth content together, but like I read to myself daily the visions, the desires I have for myself and my business. But I'm also excited and motivated because I know every day is a new journey. When you work with people, there are no 2 days that are identical, right? And so you know that as a principal, as a leader, as a supervisor, but always knowing that today is an opportunity for me to have a positive impact in somebody else's life. And that's what excites me because, one of my mottos is I want to leave people better than I found them. And so, yeah, every day I get a chance to do that.
Yes, that's wonderful. And the statement and slogan that you have said, today is the first day of the rest of my life, that is something that I have definitely gravitated to and hold on to as well. Just wake up in the morning knowing that what I'm learning, something new, who I'm helping, and this is the first day of the rest of my life and moving forward. So I appreciate you modeling that, and has definitely inspired me to hold on to that saying and statement each and every day as well. So as we jump into mentorship, I just want to know, and I know the answer already, in terms of you having a mentor or a coach in your life, but I just want to just hear about your experience with a mentor or a coach, and also what is something that you've learned that has really impacted your career?
So I have always been a fan of mentorship, and now when I reflect over, I actually had mentors before I realized that's what they were, right? And a mentor is someone who, one, has been somewhere you haven't been, or but hopefully someplace you want to go. Someone who's willing to spend time with you, to listen to you, to guide you, share their experiences, but then also pull back enough to let you kind of spread your wings and figure it out, right? Because we don't need to be parented. We're adults, but mentoring is beneficial. And so I've had mentors, even, I go back to as a young child. I know one of the reasons why I'm in the sorority that I'm in right now is
Mhm.
because there was, my godmother was so instrumental as a mentor to me and brought me to things and exposed me to the value of sisterhood and all that came with it. And I followed in her footsteps. I pledged the same sorority, right? So, the stories go on and on. But currently, I have several mentors, but one in particular that I can say has helped me the most in these last few years is my mentor and coach, Paul Martinelli. And some of you, if you follow John Maxwell, maybe in the past, Bob Proctor, he also had his own business. He is the founder of Empowered Living Community, but he is my coach and mentor. And when I first made the decision to truly invest in this level of coaching, because I'd had other coaches, it took me a minute to think I was ready for it. But when I tell you it's been transformational, I came to that relationship thinking, oh, yeah, he's going to help me with my business. Let me just say, Edward, that he had to help Angela with Angela. And those first 6 months, I remember thinking, are we ever going to talk about my business? But what was happening was he was helping me because I am my business. And he helped me to understand the toxicity in the soil that was in me, and everything you touch when you're not ready, it doesn't perform to its highest level of success. And so by getting me better, everything I touched got better. My relationships, my business, my dreams. I began to think about ways to really grow outside of the limitations I had set for myself. And so we're going on our third year together, and all I can say is it's been transformational.
Yes, that's wonderful. And I'm glad to hear. I know that you have several mentors, and I'm glad that you highlighted Paul Martinelli as well. Even for me, in terms of my journey, when we talk about mentorship, you want to have a mentor that's accessible. And Paul, I have written emails to him, and he has responded, and that is what's key. So many times you can try to seek out mentorship, and you can send emails or text to someone, and no response. But I'm so glad that Paul Martinelli responds and gives you information to be able to move you forward. So he's definitely a person that's definitely modeling true mentorship, and I appreciate him in the community as well. So it brings me back to for my own journey. I remember a time where I was in education for many years, and there was a point where my career hit a wall, and I really didn't understand why that happened. And when I thought about it and reflected on the time period, it was because I didn't have a coach or a mentor in my life. And once I realized that, ever since I have gravitated to mentors and coaches in every area of my life, and I have seen the benefits of having really those two different individuals. Yes, a mentor, someone who is farther along where you want to go, who's actually modeling, but that coach, because there's things, there's skills inside of all of us, and we need someone to really bring that out of us. And that's what the coach does. And that's really key. And I have, since August of 2019, I went through the John Maxwell team certification, and I've committed my life to being a coach and a mentor, because I don't want anyone to go through the experience that I had or went through in my life. And when I was starting, moving out of the role of being a principal and starting a business to support aspiring school leaders and current school leaders, I needed mentorship. And I'm so glad that I found the Black Entrepreneurs Institute, found you as a mentor, Cedric LaFleur, Dr. Nicole Rankin, Mr. Damian Johnson. All four of you, as co-founders of Black Entrepreneurs Institute, have definitely helped me out and have been that role as mentors as well as coaches. And I just want to open it up for you to explain to the audience a little bit more about the vision and mission of the Black Entrepreneurs Institute.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for trusting us with your journey. You are definitely someone that we're very proud of. We are so excited that you said yes to the opportunity. And I can say, I can speak for all four of us when I say you're not just a member of the community, you're like family to us. And so we are very proud of you and your accomplishments. And so the Black Entrepreneurs Institute, it started really interesting because actually it was in a conversation with Paul, if you really want to know the truth, and in one of my coaching calls. And I was like, I feel like I could be doing more. Like there is something bigger than me just servicing my clients. How do I help other people who want to do what I want to do or want to do something different, but just don't know how? And I read news articles. I'm that person that if I see something, I'm forwarding articles to other people. Like, did you see this? I'm also a very high C for anybody who knows anything about DISC. So statistics, really numbers resonate with me. And there was this season in my life, Edward, where I was reading all the reports about entrepreneurship, the difference between Black owned businesses versus non Black owned businesses, women owned businesses versus men owned businesses, women of color owned businesses compared to businesses owned by women that are not minorities. And all the numbers said the same thing. Our businesses, Edward, perform at a lesser degree of success, exponentially in some cases, to the point where one number shared that Black women owned businesses earn 4 times less
Mm.
than women owned businesses by non minorities. Now, think about that for a minute. And being a woman of color, I'm like, I know how hard I work. I know how hard the people I know work. What's the gap? Like, what are other people getting that we're not getting? And I thought about my journey, and it was like, you go to the SBA here, you do SCORE, you do chamber, you're trying to figure this thing out, but there's a lot of teaching, but maybe not always a lot of how to, and how do I master that? So I said that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be a solution instead of just talk about what the problem was. And so I reached out to my co-founders, as you've already mentioned, Damien, Nicole, and Cedric. And I was like, I don't even know what this is or what it's going to look like or how we're going to do it. But based on how I felt like we complemented each other in some of the spaces that they were growing and doing, that we would be a good fit. And so all of them said yes, one phone call request. And so that's how you know. And Paul helped me think through how to do that because I've always been afraid of partnering. I'm like, I don't know about this. Right. So he helped me grow through that. And out of it birthed what we now know as the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. And so we have so far brought through our business boot camps 3 individual cohorts. We do 1 cohort a quarter. We really want to focus our efforts and our energies on serving the people in the cohort versus chasing new people, right? There's a time to farm, and plant, and then there's a time to water those seeds and watch the harvest or the sprouts. And so we're actually in the process now of taking enrollment for our 4th cohort in totality. And the second one this year, we just graduated a cohort in the beginning of March. And our mission is very simple. We are here to elevate the mindset and the money of minority business owners. And we want to also use the platforms that we've developed for ourselves to extend that to help other people grow their platform. We don't believe in the law of scarcity. Even though other people may do similar work as us, we have a space for them on our stage. And so that's really what our purpose is, to close that gap between the success of minority-owned businesses. During COVID last year, there were articles that said approximately 90+% of minority-owned businesses would not even be eligible for the PPP. Like, that's another example of we're in business, but we can't even get the help that is supposed to be available from our government to stay sustainable, and that minority-owned businesses would be the hardest hit during this season. So we have really upped that ante, and that's one of the reasons why we run offers. We want to make it as affordable as possible for as many entrepreneurs or people who have an interest of becoming one to be able to participate.
Very good, very good. So I'm listening to what you're saying about the vision and mission around Black Entrepreneurs Institute, and also you're very transparent in terms of some of the thoughts that you had about partnerships, and you thought about it with your mentor Paul Martinelli, who also was a mentor to me. But it's interesting that you had the conversation with him about partnerships, and of course things have changed, and now you partner with 3 others to form the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. I've only known you for probably 6 months now, and you've taught me a lot. You've mentored me a lot, coached me a lot, and I've grown a lot. But very quickly, it's not just about the 4 mentors that we have here, the founders, but also about the cohort members and their growth and the work that they're doing. And there's some there's some partnerships that I'm about to involve in with some of the cohort members. So it's so interesting to hear some of your thoughts about partnership, how it got to, I'll say, my generation of the development, that the partnerships become easier because you're modeling that. We see it, and we see exactly how the value of partnerships can make things larger and expand. So it's just interesting to hear the evolution around partnership for you and how it's really has gotten down to the cohort members within the group as well. So that was interesting.
Well, yeah, and even think about it, right? Like, so Cedric and I have a partnership aside from BEI where we're working in the future proof platform for empowered living. Cedric and Nicole have a partnership for youth. I have a partnership with Robin, who was in the cohort before you, doing a podcast. So they have just spun off. Like, there's more and more partnerships, and I'm sure there are others that I'm not aware of or not coming to my mind right now. Well, Joanna is in a partnership with Cedric. Joanna and I are in a partnership together. So she's helping translating some of my things into Spanish. So I just say all that to say, I went from being this person who was like, I don't know. Now every time I'm turning around, I'm looking to partner. And I think the community, by being a part of this community, we get to see the strengths of other people. And so it helps us to see, wow, while I could do this, man, Edward could do this so much better than me. So why not partner with Edward and let Edward be the expert here and I be the expert here, and we bring our strengths and talents together and we make a better organization that way. And I think that's also one of the issues with a lot of entrepreneurs. They're trying to do it all. Partnerships have worked out very well for me. And now I would say I'm almost like the queen of partnerships.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So next question I have for you, if there's a person that has a business idea, what are some initial steps they should take?
So, one of the things we actually even talk about in the business boot camp for minority business owners, but for the record, we focus on minority business owners, but all people are welcome. And you saw that in your cohort and some of the others. We're not discriminatory. So, right, we support all entrepreneurs or business owners. We just want those who are looking for this, because there's a gap for them as a minority, to know we got you covered here too. But what I would say is a couple of things. One would be, is this something that people pay for? Like, you could ask yourself some really quick questions in the beginning. Is this something that people would pay for? And if the answer is yes, where are they paying for it? So that lets you know it's viable. One of the mistakes people make is they say, well, somebody else is already doing it, so then it's not for me. No, that's not true. How many real estate agents are there? Right? Nobody says, well, there's already one person selling houses, so I guess I can't do it. Like, I know people who've just jumped into the arena over the last 12 months because COVID changed the real estate market to the point that houses are just like in lack of demand. But I say that to say, don't let that be an excuse. Another thing I would say is, how strongly do you feel about it? A couple of things that I've learned through the years is there are times in life when we hear and or see things, and the first thing we think of or say is, somebody needs to do something about that. Well, I am of the belief that when you say that, that's really for you, because when you saw that need, you saw that issue, you immediately felt it needs to be addressed, which means you must be passionate about it. So my question for you is too, okay, you have this idea. Are you passionate about it? Because you asked me earlier, like, what gets me up in the morning? So it needs to be able to get you up. Because when that thing becomes a desire that's burning within you, I talked about that thing that's in your belly you got to give birth to, that thing that you tell people when they ask you, if money wasn't an issue, what would you do? That's your thing. And yes, you need to be doing it. We were all designed with that inherent desire to be, do, and have more. That's your more. It might be scary, but it's good scary, right? And so say yes to it, and then get with people who can help you accomplish that. Because as fulfilling as being an entrepreneur is, it's not for the faint of heart. Like you need a good support system. Like you said, you need mentors, you need coaches, and you just need peers, like-minded people to support you on those days. That can also add value to your business. But those would be some of the short things I would say do. And then I would say you probably should enroll into the business boot camp for business owners so we can take you the rest of the way.
I definitely agree. I'm sitting here listening to you. I just remember the first week of being in the boot camp, and there's a question about Edward, what is your business? Who are you serving? And not knowing anything, I wanted to serve and coach and mentor everyone. But through the boot camp, it really helped me to discover my niche and think about the problem. There are many aspiring school leaders that have a challenge with passing the school leaders licensure assessment. And my niche is helping those aspiring administrators pass the exam. And then once they pass the exam, get a job as a school leader, and then have opportunity to have continuous coaching and mentoring to be successful and effective in those positions. So I'm grateful for my experience in the Black Entrepreneurs Institute to be able to help me identify the niche, to be able to elevate my mindset and my money. So I'm definitely grateful. And
Well, Edward, I just want to salute you because I think now none of us, and not just in the BEI, but people who know you and follow you, it is so clear now what your space is. Like the moment we hear somebody in the education space talk about advancement or being principals, we like, oh, Edward, we like. And that's what it's all about. Like you want to be the person when somebody asks a question, you start getting inbox messages because people are like, oh, let me connect you with Edward. It's not even, we don't even have to think twice. You don't get the calls like, is this something you do? We know what you do. And so you are a testimonial for the clarity of messaging and branding and creating a niche and finding your avatar. If we've ever had one, you are that that prototype.
thank you very, very much. And another experience that I had during the boot camp, it being a school principal, you have a budget. You know about the amount of students that you have in the building, the amount of teachers. You can maneuver all of that, but I never had to go through a sales. Okay, and that is something for me as being a new entrepreneur, learning about sales. And the question I have is, how can a person in business improve their level of comfort around sales?
Well, the low hanging fruit response is to remind yourself, even though it may end up being a sale, that's not why you're there. You're there to add value and to help. And so a person has a pain point or an opportunity and they need a solution. If you have the solution, it's almost like, how dare you not tell them about it? So if you approach it with the mindset that I want to help people, I'm trying to help them, not sell them. And if they see that my product is the solution, I want to give them every opportunity to purchase it. And then you don't have to feel salesy. You know, I told you guys yesterday, I'm struggling with some arm and shoulder problems. What did I do? I go to Amazon and I was actually referred the thing, but it's some little gadget thing that'll help me keep my arm compressed. That person didn't sell me. I had a pain point and a real pain point. And so I need what they're offering. So if I'm a principal or somebody aspiring to be one, that's my pain point. I'm not being elevated. I can't pass the exam. You're not selling them anything. You're helping them get the life that they say they want. And doesn't that feel good to know you helped them?
Yes.
But you had to sell them something, didn't you? So that would be the thing. Just see it as helping people. And if your intention is just to make money, then maybe that's not the space for you. Your intention needs to be, I'm helping and adding value. The result is I got to sell.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with the audience. So let's jump into talking about the Black Entrepreneurs Institute Boot Camp. Can you just share with the audience some of the benefits of being a part of the boot camp?
So some of the benefits is community. I think when we go this road, and I mentioned this earlier, when I said I wanted to be an entrepreneur, people told me I was crazy. Like, why would you leave a secure job? And so one, we need to be in a community of other people who are crazy like us, if that's the word we want to use, right? Because we support each other. Another thing is professionalism, expertise, mentoring, guidance. you get the tools and resources that you need, but there are tools and resources everywhere, right? Like you could YouTube and Google any topic about entrepreneurship. You could read a book. But are you going to get the a thinking partner? Are you going to be in a community with other people who are on the journey with you? Do you get benefit of their Q&A? And we talk about core skills. One of them, sales, you mentioned, negotiations. We help people with their pitches. Um, we also give you tools and resources to build a solid foundation. Because going back to that PPP issue, part of the reasons why businesses didn't qualify was because their paperwork wouldn't stack up with the bank, right? Where are your articles of incorporation? Where's your business plan? Where's your um, your profit loss statement? Like, these are things that people need from us as business owners. I did a different entrepreneur training program for women entrepreneurs a couple of years ago in Newark. And I was surprised that there were women in this program who were very successful and didn't even have a business checking account. Right. So these are the common things that we assume everybody knows. But what we're finding is there's just the little things. And so us being able to wrap our arms around you and help you see where there are some leaks in your business can also be a benefit. Then last but not least, the simulations. I think having an opportunity to learn something and then apply it, to give you that muscle memory for it, to let you practice and even potentially learn because you didn't do as well the first time in a safe environment, is something that you can't put a price tag on. And so we bring the knowledge, but we also bring the practical application, and again, the love and support. And again, you get our platform too, because we're going to promote you just like we promote our own businesses.
Very good, very good. Can you just share with the audience, when is the next boot camp begin? And also, are there any offers that you're offering right now for the audience?
So our next boot camp is the first Tuesday in April. I believe that's April 4th. It'll begin. So enrollment will be through April 2nd. That's Sunday night at midnight. We have been running promotions all month of March. We're doing March Madness. And so from March 1st through 10th, actually, we had a 30% discount. From the 11th through the 20th, there's a 20% discount. And then I believe the 21st through the 28th, it's a 10% discount. And then depending on how many spaces we have available, we'll see if we need to make any adjustments for those last 3 or 4 days for enrollment. So jump in early so that you can get benefit of the higher discounts, but it's definitely well worth it at regular price. And many people have paid that, and we've never had a person come back and say it wasn't worth it. They actually said, you gave me more than I even envisioned. It is intense. It's a boot camp. It's called that for a reason. And if you would liken it to like a fitness boot camp, you show up, they hit you hard, they whip you into shape, and then they put you on a maintenance program. And so that's what we also try to do. And then the last thing I would say is, of course, if you're listening to this show, definitely sign up with Edward, because Edward, anybody who he's referred to our bootcamp, I can tell you, they get, in addition to us mentoring them, they get the benefit of Edward's expertise, his friendship, and his support. And again, having people in your life like that, that's immeasurable, and invaluable. So again, use the link that you see on the screen and sign up with Edward and let him support you on that journey as well.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Angela. And again, Angela Hooper-Menifield is a co-founder of the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. And on the screen, we have the email address for the founders, BEIfounders@gmail.com. If you want to email them directly for any additional questions you have about the bootcamp or the Institute. As well, again, I'll put on the screen bit.ly, bit.ly/BEI bootcamp. And it will take you right to the website where more information and how to register and enroll for the upcoming bootcamp that's happening starting in April. And I'm glad, we're so excited to be able to have Angela on the show today to be able to share all this information with you as the audience. As we close out, Angela, just have one last question. what is one thing you would like to share with the audience? A person that has an idea that is stuck, a person who is not taking action, that's going to be able to help them out as we close out for this morning.
So, what I would say to you is a couple of things. Number one, that was given to you for a reason, as in it's yours to do. So, regardless of how scary it may be or uncertain on how to get there, I want to encourage you to just take one step in the direction of what that is. So often we want to know the whole plan, right? So if I won't do anything until I know exactly how this is going to go, you'll never know because even if you had a plan, it's probably going to change anyway, right? So I just want to encourage you and let you know that this ideal is yours to birth. And you need to, just like if you had a brand new baby and you would love it and you'd care for it and you would feed it and you would nurture it, I want you to nurture that idea. Get unstuck. And how you get unstuck is just take one step, right? One step, not all the steps. Because I believe in you and for you that after you take that first step, step number two will be revealed to you as well. And then you'll be on a journey. But you can do it. And so if you don't believe it for yourself, you can live off of my borrowed belief in you. So I really want you to know it's yours for the asking. So just take that first step.
Take the first step. Well, I'm so glad that I took the step and joined the Black Entrepreneurs Institute, and now in a partnership and working with great mentors like you. And I'm so thankful for you being on the show today, and thank you for modeling excellence for me and many others. And for everyone watching, thank you for tuning in to this special edition of the Principal's Office. And join us on Fridays at 12 p.m. for another episode with an amazing leader that has done things significantly for themselves, for others, and with others. See you soon. Thank you very much, Angela.
Thank you.